of the One Hub Racing points tier. Tonight we will be under the lights around a very well liked track. A track that has seen controversy but also some great racing in real life and in One Hub. It is of course the Singapore Grand Prix. But before we get started, please welcome my co-commentator Jamie.
Hello, Carol. How are you doing, mate? I'm looking forward to this race. Obviously, last week we had a really good battle and hope for more of the same on a slightly different street circuit.
Yeah, of course, Canada, that wasn't really a street circuit. I mean, it is, but kinda isn't. But it is a true street circuit. We'll be under the lights, and I'm really excited for this one. It should provide some great racing, and as I said, some controversy drama.
Yeah, for certain. We've had controversy in the past here in One Hub and in real life F1. As I quickly mentioned this track facts for you, this is a 5 kilometre track or 3.1 miles. There's 23 corners, 14 left-handed, 9 right-handed. The lap distance is 31 laps, so this is going to be a very long race. This track's short on distance to Silverstone, but it's a lot slower, so this race is going to take a long time. DRS zones, there's 2 of them. The strict corner cutting, the track direction is counterclockwise. We have a mandatory two-stop as always, and the tyres we bring, because it's a street circuit, we bring the 3 softest sets of tyres. We've got the C5, which will last 9 laps in theory, and there's an 8 tenths gap to the C4 medium tyres, which has 16 laps, and there's a 1.6 second gap between that and the C3 hard tyres, which last 28 laps. A pit stop loss around here of around 25.5 seconds, and we've had 11 Grand Prix held here in One Hub Racing, 21 races, and last time out here in season 15, one of our drivers got a podium in the podium tier of Thomas.
I remember that pretty well, Thomas. Great drive around here, but going back to the tyres, the hards, well, yes, they can go nearly the full race distance. Their disadvantage is that they're very, very slow. 2.4 seconds slower than the softs.
Yeah, and on the softs, in the previous interviews, Triffin, our winner last week, was asked about his preferred tyre strategy. He mentioned that tyre weight is very high around here, and the tyre temperatures fluctuate too much to make the soft tyres worth passing this lap. So he's expecting the guys who are going to qualify the softs to pit around lap 3 and lap 5, but judging by qualifying, that might not be a factor because it looks like we've got a wet track.
And just before the stream I was saying how I wouldn't mind seeing a wet race, but definitely not a wet qualifying, and I completely gave it the commentator's curse before we even started commentating. And yeah, we nearly have a full grid here tonight, with King J replacing Zipa, and I think it's his teammate, yes it is Aaron JS, who's not here tonight. But just before we head into qualifying, I'll start off with the sponsors. Next Level Racing, who provide a GT Light cockpit as a prize to our giveaway winner. We also have Liam RBS, who provides the trophies for each season, and we have a new one, Free Sim Racing, who will be providing a pair of their sim racing gloves to the driver with the most poles and the driver with the most fastest laps this season.
Yeah, we've got 2 really good partners as well. We've got the First Team who are supporting our championship prizes, and they supply gaming apparel. We've also got the ERT Esports team who are sponsoring the Go Get Stuff Award this season, and we've got 3 ERT drivers in this tier in Thomas, Dexter and Jordan, so good luck to them. And we've got a collaboration with Time to Print. You get 20% off the keyring of the Singapore track layout on the Etsy store using the code OneHubRacing. So if you're a fan of the Marina, if you're a fan of the Singapore circuit, why not get yourself a little keyring so you can carry on as a memento?
And with the sponsors on, I must say it's definitely going to be difficult conditions for these drivers. I'm riding on board MFC Trunders right now, and we can see that it is a challenge for him.
Yeah, full wet conditions, so these guys are going to have an absolute nightmare trying to keep us on the road. They want to get a lap in first, and a lot of these guys, I wouldn't be surprised if they filled up for 3 or 4 laps just to get a lap just to get some rhythm. As obviously this is not going to dry up any qualifying, so it may dry up for inters, but at the moment these full wet tyres, so it just shows you this is torrential downpour. And if it's a real life F1, I wouldn't be surprised if this session red flag, but we don't have red flags in mono racing. We race whatever the weather.
Yeah, it definitely looks like treacherous conditions out there tonight. Seems like a typhoon just hit Singapore, as I think that's MFT Thunders in the escape road. Yes, it is, and that was one of the, I want to say, headlines in the drivers' steward's briefing. They said that if you find yourself in the escape roads, you have to rejoin safely. Every driver should know that, as now Thunders is doing a Mahavir Ragunafin, doing about 1,000,000 point turns here.
Yeah, that's a good message from stewards. Yeah, you don't want drivers reversing. If you're off track, you just got to make sure you're aware of what's going around you and keep an eye on your mirrors, and also the track map. There's no excuse for drivers not being aware of what's around them. There's a lot of information. And speaking of the stewards, the main action zones they've called for are turn 5, turn 8, and they've also seen the curbs and traction zones can cause drivers to lose the car and traction, and that's especially going to be factored in these awful conditions. And the pit lane, now the pit entry is really awkward around here, and the pit exit, obviously, we have seen a few instances in the past where drivers have cut the pit entry, and I think the stewards will be taking a very dim view if that happens in the race.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the case as now. I'm checking who is on a lap. Many drivers are on laps, as they are trying to probably put in their banker lap times for now. Just seeing what the track conditions are. We saw a brave man of TTG King J. He went out on the intermediate combo of tyres, and I don't think that really worked out.
No, the conditions they are torrential rain, and yeah, the intermediates are not. It won't be too long for the inters already, because if it does dry up, because it's a very long rain, definitely torrential rain as standing on the track in. It's in the rain, it can be a factor. We haven't seen much in Singapore, but it does. The cars do look beautiful, I have to say, under the lights with this spray. It is a joy to behold, especially the cars like the Mercedes, and it just really looks a joy to behold in the dark.
Yeah, they really do. It's a magnificent sight, and yeah, you just kind of want to watch it. It's weird wanting to watch qualifying, but before we head into probably the fastest laps of qualifying, I'll run you through the standings. Well, I'll do the race results from last week, because it was round 1 around Canada, so obviously the standings will be identical to the race results. Aero Specialist was the man who got pole position first of all in the short quali session, so it was him on the right foot going into the race. But at the season opener, we saw the last season's prospect tier runner-up win the race, and of course, if you don't know him, it's Truth NRP. Behind him was the winner on track, Aero Specialist. He got really unlucky with his penalties. In third was another prospect tier arrival in Gazaman. So great start from the Red Bull team. In fourth was the AlphaTauri of Killplane, and it was a disappointing race from ERT Thomas, who only finished in 5th. Jordan came across the line in 6th, and behind him was Hooky, who came home with 6 points. The second Mercedes of Dexter, he finished in 8th position, where Lawrence finished in 9th after penalties were applied. RNJS finished the session in 10th position, and behind him was Sir Quinniff, who looked very promising heading into the race, starting in P4, but that went downhill really quickly for him. Mike was last to finish in the points in 12th position, and Aaron and Bryn Mike were the two drivers who picked up fastest lap points. RNJS inside the top 10 and Bryn Mike outside the top 10, and finally it was Truth NRP with the driver of the day.
Yeah, well done to them guys. And obviously, speaking of last week, we have a hot and cold list. Obviously, it was based on last week's race, and for his climb through the fields, Hooky got the hotness, and it was mentioned that he climbed from 17th, 7th. So if you had Hooky in your fantasy lineup, you got a 10 points. So well done to anybody who had him in his team. You can't get much hotter than that. So it'd be interesting to see what he'd do again, or if Canada was a strong track in particular for him. And on the cold list, we had Delta. Obviously, the Haas guys didn't have such a good race last time out, and he failed to finish in the Prix. He's got a lot to do, turning form and season out. But thankfully for him, there's still 9 races to go, and the Haas team have yet to score points, along with Racing Point, and they'll be looking to really step up and score some points today. Obviously, this track, it may allow drivers who wouldn't normally be at the front to flourish.
Yeah, we were saying just before the stream that it might be the case that whoever finishes gets points, and I mean, it is looking like in the West. I heard news from Gazaman that they will be dry in the race, so it might not be as difficult for the drivers, but it is still a very difficult circuit.
Yeah, speaking difficult circuit, I believe Epic Scorpion has binned it coming out the hairpin after the Anderson Bridge. So yeah, that just shows you how treacherous it is. And Scorpion had a good time there. He was second on the grid. He was showing some good form in the wet weather, and obviously he's binned it now, and he'll be hoping the track conditions worsen, because if they get better, he'll be starting near the back of the grid. Speaking of Gazman, he was in the driver's press conference this week after his strong showing last week. It was mentioned, he said, well, I guess your first time in prospect here had to end sometime, but how did you pull off a podium in your debut in higher tier last week, and will you be struggling for points around Singapore? And what Gaza said, he said, points tier has been a surprise as I found early pace. Pre-season had himself as a top 12 target in each race, which progressed to 2 podiums in Canada and Silver Shore, which you have in the pre-season race. The aim now is to get decent points and have and keep it clean. But Singapore's a track where I think Gazaman looking to keep his clean driving, and Gazaman obviously he's yet to have a pole in one hub racing, and he's had 4 race wins. He hasn't won since since Monaco in season 12, and Gazaman, he'll be desperate to get a win tonight, because he's been so close so many times, as Jordan puts it on pole position. I've got an ERT 1-2 at the moment.
It's looking good for the Renault and the Mercedes. Hooky down in third, 9/10 behind everyone. But with the pre-race interviews, there was a very good question. The drivers were asked if they thought this was the best street race on the game. Many of them said yes, apart from one, which I'm saying, Fleiss, who said that no, it is too wide to be a good street circuit and way too long. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it is a very long track. It's actually the track length isn't that long, but because it's so many slow corners, it does take a while. And yeah, it is wide at places, but I think Singapore's a track which has grown on me in the past. That I think it. I preferred it when you had the Singapore sling, because that gave it a bit of character. But yeah, Singapore is a track I do like watching, and it's sort of like F1's version of endurance race, because it lasts such a long time. And obviously it's not going to be a wet race, but if this was a wet race, the race would be well over an hour. And even with safety cars, we may get races of over an hour. So this is going to be a real test for drivers. Like, I see why drivers don't like it, because it's quite a tricky circuit, and there are a few places where it is quite easy just to run deep and run off and lose time. So I can see why drivers don't like it, but some drivers do, and Thomas in particular, he likes it. He said, yeah, definitely, Singapore is his favourite street circuit. He loves the flow of the circuit, so there's a mixed opinion from drivers. The majority seem to quite like it, but a vocal few do not.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the part that would have said yes for that pre-race interview, as ART Thomas, he puts it on provisional pole position with 7 minutes remaining, 1 minute 56.880, beating Hooky's lap time, who just came across the finish line, I want to say 10 seconds before ART Thomas.
Yeah, obviously Hooky had a good race last week. He's looking to, obviously, we climb for the field. We haven't really seen his true race pace, because he's starting in the back. If he starts in the front, I think Hooky, with his climb for the field, he'll be looking to get a podium. And Thomas, he got involved in that turn 1 incident last week, where a few cars ran into each other, and he was hobbled for the first stint. So Thomas did recover well to get 5th place, and these two are definitely eye out for is Jordan in third place. There was a question, the pre-race question was, how many front wings are bringing? Do you think you need them at all? And Jordan says he's bringing 1 or 2 spare front wings. So is Jordan maybe thinking if his 2 pit stops he might need to change the wing?
Well, of course, pit stops will play a big factor in this Grand Prix strategy. That might be where we see most overtakes happen. With the walls being so close and so many technical parts to this whole circuit is very technical. We will probably see a lot of front wings flying, especially when the cars are all jumbled up into turn 1.
Yeah, because the wet qualifying does tend to mix your order a bit. So a few guys that do tend to have specialists in wet conditions. Remember last season in the podium tier, Cam was definitely a wet weather specialist. So a few guys have the grid, and they may like the wet weather, and a few guys further back may not. So we have a bit of a mix-up grid, and that may cause a bit of chaos in the first few laps as the field sorts itself out. As Thomas is on pole by 4 attempts. We didn't expect to see such a tight grid as we did in Canada, but for wet qualifying, it's not like the front few is quite spread out, but the midfield's quite close congested, and a lot of the guys are in the 58s, and likes of Lawrence and Dexter and Delta. The midfield looks quite competitive.
Yeah, it does, and 5 minutes remaining on the clock. Scorpion, and he retired from the session early after his crash after the Anderson Bridge, so that's the only driver who has been caught out by the weather, and I'm seeing a lot of these drivers under outlaps, so they might be going for their last runs as on task. I see many drivers have a lot of fuel on their cars.
Yeah, they're looking to do 2 or 3 final laps, I think. Yeah, look, a few of these guys out now. And Hooky, he's done 5 laps in his set of tyres, so getting a lot of, obviously, tyre wear. As we drive race, it doesn't matter about tyre in these tyres, so Delta on out, he do his time, he's going to final lap, jump up, moves up to 4th place, so the 2 Haas guys yet score points, but a good position so far, but Scorpion will be very vulnerable because he doesn't set time as Lawrence runs a little bit deep into the stadium section. He managed to avoid that wall though, and that barrier in the same section. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see a few cars into that barrier in the same section tonight.
We might be at King J. He goes 13th in the Ferrari, so I'd be expecting a little bit more from King J on his debut. But of course, last race's pole position winner, Aero Specialist, he's all the way down in 14th, and he's gonna have to pick up his pace if he wants to get back on front.
No, yeah, and obviously last week we saw McLaren versus Red Bull battle the front, and and one of the Red Bull drivers, one of the McLaren drivers were in the rivalry press conference, and Truth was asked, surely if McLaren is the best you have to deal with behind your teammates, it's going to be easy 2 in a row, because the McLaren guys, they were quick, but they did pick up a lot of penalties. What Truth said, he said, if this is who's to be at the front, it'll be an interesting class. Since the McLarens have picked a lot of penalties while Gazza and I managed to keep clean for the most part, this will definitely be the ideal season for us. And Lawrence was asked, not an ideal end with the accumulated penalties, but he did have a chance to push leaders if he keeps us up mentally. And Lawrence did not answer his question, but I think he would have answered, I think he would have said personally, I think he would have said, it did give us a lot of confidence. The penalties were a big issue, but we are working on this as a team, as Aero Specialist, who's up 2nd place, and I think Lawrence would be saying the pace is there. We can iron out the mistakes as long as we have the pace. The mistakes, pace comes easier than mistakes. So I think Lawrence would have been happy with his pace, but he needs to cut out them. He cost McLaren a lot of points. They'd have been right there, Red Bull at the top of the Constructors Championship. So yeah, just want to cut out them penalties.
Yeah, the penalties, I don't think they'll be such a big issue, but here at Jordan, he's on a flying lap in the 3rd sector, and going through these 90-degree corners that aren't as tiring as the ones at the Sochi Autodrome, and now coming up to the left, double left-hander. What will it be for Jordan? And he goes slower than his previous lap time, but just barely.
Yeah, by 8 thousandths of a second. I believe Mike's off that lap. He's in a pretty good middle sector, 4 attempts up. No, this could get him this could maybe jump ahead of Scorpion, and so we'll see what he does. He's slightly down in first sector though, so he's in the first sector, up 4 in the first sector. One of the first sector, yeah, he made a bit of a mistake in the sector. A lot of guys, yeah, the track is still quite wet, but I think if this qualifying session was a little bit longer, then we may have seen inters, but obviously 4 wets are the way to go at the moment. As Delta is on inters, but he's in the pit, so he can't do anything about that. As Mike Crossline, can he improve? Can he jump up to 8th place? See what he does. He just moves up to 5th. He had a really good, he was a purple fast last sector. He really nailed the final sector, and he's got the flaps. There's Truth and he moves up to 8th place. I went in last week. The 2 Red Bulls, the 7th and 8th. Gazzaman, he's on a 1 lap, I believe.
As I think Aero Specialist, he's going to be starting his lap. Yeah, he is, as his teammate Lawrence Lee, he also came across the finish line. Many drivers will probably be finishing their lap times. Sector, he's up into 11, but it looks like he's still pushing his car. Killplane also probably on a lap. So yeah, unlike in the dry conditions on the softs that completely wear out around here, you can really push these tyres. As Sir Quinn, if he jumps up to 10th.
Yeah, good luck for Quinn there in the top 10. I wonder if that'll stick. Yeah, we've got Jordan and Mike are both personal best first sector specialist. ERT Thomas, he's going to improve in his time. It's quite a bit on his 2 sectors air specialist. He may improve in the second sector, but yeah, Jordan's down in the second sector. I wonder if the second sector is a little bit less grip as Truth and IP retires, so he's obviously been there. Jordan is 3rd place, so the ERT man is up to 3rd at the moment. Thomas is looking good for pole position at the moment. What can our specialists do? This final sector seems to be where all the drivers are improving.
Oh, that's a Red Bull in the wall at Anderson's Bridge, and that might have ruined some people's lap times. I'm not too sure. They might have been caught out by that Red Bull just sitting in the middle of the track. Thunder is coming up to a line through the double left-hander. It looks like he is improving on his lap. What will it be for the British driver at 7th position? So good work from Thunders. Who else is on a lap right now? Mike, he is on a lap. He's gone 7/10 faster. I could be pole position for the Welshman. Yes, it is by 4/10 of a second. Well, some drivers are still on a lap. Aero Specialist, I think he is not improving. Gazman, it doesn't look like he is improving on his lap. Lawrence C.
He's in the pits.
Yes, Lawrence, yeah, I don't think he will improve on his lap. He does, he jumps up into 6th position. Last man out on track is ERT Dexter, but his lap got invalidated. So it is Ivor Bryn Mike on pole position for tonight's race.
Yeah, what a lap by him now. He finished 15th last week, got fast lap points, so he did show some pace at the end. But yeah, Mike, I say, a surprise pole sitter there, because Thomas looked like he had in the bag there, but his final lap, I think he may have burnt his tyres out a little bit because he didn't really improve in his sectors. And Thomas is going to be second on the grid, Air Specialist, who was pole in pre-season race and pole in Canada. He's down in 3rd place with Jordan 4th, and our race with the 2 Red Bulls who are leading constructors in 9th and 10th. So not a good qualification Red Bull guys, but we know them 2 are pretty good in the race conditions. They say good qualification for Alfa Romeo. 1st and 5th, you have to say. Decent effort for the Alpha boys.
That Alfa Romeo did very well. I don't want to say unlike last week. First Hookie came home in 7th, and Brent Mike came home with the fastest lap. But it's definitely a big improvement for them. And if you could run us through the race results, for the qualifying results, and the starting grid for the race.
Yeah, so in a pole position, he's second everyone on the race is Ivor Mike. Second place is Thomas. 3rd is Aero Specialist. 4th is ERT Jordan. 5th is Hookie. 6th is Lawrence. 7th is Delta. 8th is Chunders. 9th Gazzaman. 10th Truth. 11th Killplane. 12th Sequinif. 13th Scorpion, who've been there early. 14th Dex Dexter. 15th King J. 16th Just Mikey. 17th Matthias. 18th Flace, and Billy didn't set a time, so he's at the back of the grid.
So that was a pretty interesting qualifying session. I want to say 3 seconds separating the field. Flies, I don't think he has really a competitive lap as we see dry conditions here. Just before we head into the race and into the formation lap, I'll run you through the constructors very quickly. Red Bull are in first currently, 34 points. 13 points behind them is McLaren. Both teams had a very good start to the season. Mercedes down in third, the championship contenders, with not the best start uh, to the season for them. AlphaTauri came home in fourth, while Renault are down in fifth on 9 points. Alfa Romeo in seventh, but judging by tonight's qualifying results, they could really jump up in the standings. Ferrari is in seventh, Williams is in eighth, and the two teams without any points so far after round one are Haas and Racing Point.
Yeah, yeah. So they're on the back, and obviously with it being about qualifying, drivers do get free choice of tyres. And what do you think drivers will start on? Because yeah, the soft tyre it'll be a bit better now it's a fresh soft. But do you think drivers will be getting them softs out the way? Because I think the strategy would be a set of softs and two sets of mediums tonight.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting as well, because hards, well, yes, they can go nearly the full way, and especially with the two soft, I highly doubt anyone's going to be going on them unless you go for a hard soft, if you want to just really get that fastest lap at the end.
And obviously, if you want to race more racing, you can go race premium. You get a nice 1 year free racing membership. And shout out to our race premium drivers racing tonight: Aaron JS, King J, Gazzaman, Lawrence, Key, Flace, Delta, and Sequinif. So shout out to them. Obviously, you've got our free ERT drivers, well, ERT Thomas, Dexter, and Jordan. As the drivers have been well behaved, obviously the host Gazzaman. He allows 30 seconds for drivers to select their strategies and their tyres, and if you read up early, you'll get a penalty. So drivers have been well behaved. So it's going to be a lot of. So that's good to see. Drivers are paying heed to the tier coordinator's message there. So drivers will have the opportunity to select their strategies they want.
As it seems like the lobby has froze, and hopefully it hasn't. Hopefully the Codemasters servers will resolve their issue. And do you have any predictions for the race?
It's going to be hard to have the wet qualifying session and obviously have slightly mixed up grid. But I think Thomas, he seems very, very bullish about his chances. I've said the podium last time raced here. He could have had pole position in the wet. I think Thomas, if you didn't see his true pace last week, I think Thomas would be the man to take the win. Take his first ever one-hub racing win tonight.
Yeah, that could be the case. I'm just thinking of the grid, and the Alfa Romeos, they could definitely get a sneak podium. Their aero specialist, he could do a good job, especially with the Red Bulls further down the grid.
Yeah, that's a real benefit to the McLaren guys, having the Red Bulls. Not such good qualifying. Whereas you did mention that it is the Achilles heel of Gazzaman sometimes the qualifying, as the host has left the session. So I believe we will be having a restarted lobby. So thankfully, because it was a wet qualifying session, tyre wear will not be factored in this restart. So the top 10 will not be getting an advantage because of this. So that's one. That's one relief, I suppose, with the restart. Because normally when that happens, the top 10 will get fresh tyres.
Yeah, so I mean, for first time that has happened to me, at least on the game. I know league racers, they see this game way more often than me, and I've heard that this is a very common issue with F1 2020. So hopefully they resolve it in 2021.
Yeah, that's something we need to see. As I start to see this race, as so obviously we will wait for the new lobby to begin as the host. So we do have a formation lap here, but this is not going to be the official formation lap. So as I mentioned, obviously a few. Obviously, we had two tiers where I believe the race was decided on the last lap by penalties, and obviously Singapore. Do you think there'll be more penalties on Singapore than Canada? I think Canada is probably the track on the Canada where you get the most penalties. You will see penalties on Singapore, but I do not believe it'll be as much as what we saw at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit.
Yeah, I highly doubt we will see as much as we saw there. We will see some. I highly doubt we'll see around 20 seconds of penalties as we saw from the likes of Lawrence T, and he definitely has to improve on that. Well, looking at the calendar, I think Russia or France, they could provide penalties such as the ones we saw at Canada.
Yeah, and also maybe Austria turn one. I don't think as much as Canada, but Austria, there's definitely a few places where you can such as China. I believe China, you're doing well to get pinned around China, because there's not many places where you can cut corners around China. And also Brazil, the CNRS. I don't know much in this game, but on the previous games, the CNRS in turn 1, turn 2, it was very easy to get track extensions there. So we're joining a new lobby now, and so hopefully, Gazman will set up the grid for the new race and will be underway very shortly. So it should be a good one. This, so 19 drivers. Obviously, slightly mixed up grid, a few surprise guys at front of the grid. There should be a few guys further back where we didn't expect to be. So, yeah, if you've got the Red Bull guys in your fantasy team, you maybe pick up some points tonight.
As I'm seeing, weather is still undynamic, so we might see some rain. I'm not sure if it will be changed to dry conditions.
I believe the one hub rule is for a restart. The lobby will be set dynamic, so it may get rain, you never know. It was set to be a dry race according to Gazman, our weatherman, for the original lobby, but the rain may come back again, but hopefully not as badly as it was in qualifying, because I cannot imagine racing in conditions. The visibility with the lights and the spray, it'd be non-existent unless you're leaving, of course. But yeah, hopefully if it does rain, it won't be as bad as the heavy rain that we saw in qualifying, because the drivers will not enjoy that at one iota.
And I'm just thinking of what to talk about really, as we are waiting for all the drivers to join back into the session. I mean,
as I mentioned, obviously, the periods and interviews, we had a question here with Canada in the books. Will Singapore deliver as much excitement in the closing stages last week? The final lap in about 3 tips. So it was definitely exciting last week, and Gazaman said he believes there will be drama as it is a tight track and overtaking is possible too. Anything can happen here, and also for question 5, he's bringing 1 and 2 wins, but he hopes he won't need them. So it's always good to prepare for extra wins. And Trunders on that question also answers Singapore has the potential to deliver, but he feels it'll be more about pit stops than exciting overtakes. So we did mention that with the wings, a lot of guys who pick wing damage, and I do expect to see a lot of guys exceeding the 2 stops. I wouldn't be surprised if some guys pitted 4 or 5 times in this race tonight.
yeah, I want to say that will be the case, especially for the unfortunate ones who might get tangled up on some first lap drama. As I'm just checking into prospect here, it is fight for first position with 3 laps remaining between Liam, JHMC and Astronauty.
Yeah, them two obviously had a close battle last week. Them two are sort of dominant out here. They just like to be a good championship fight between the Ferrari and the Mercedes drivers, which we have seen in the past in F1 and in one hub racing. So that could be a battle that could last the entire season, as the drivers are slowly beginning to rejoin the session. Obviously, once all drivers have joined the session, Gazzaman will set the grid using the custom grid editor. He will have a copy of the qualifying results, so he will be able to do that hopefully as quickly as possible, because I can't wait for this race. I think it's going to be really good, and Singapore, a track which it's the first time it's been used in modern racing on F1 2020, so these guys had to wait an entire year almost to race this circuit on One Hub Racing with the new calendar system we've used for this new game. Well, it's not a new game anymore, but this game.
Yeah, and as we're on the calendar, we might as well just recap you what is going to happen. Next week we will be seeing these cars going back in Asia, this time at the Shanghai International Circuit. Then we will see a European stage, I want to say, your European section of the calendar. We will see Belgium, Austria, Spain, Italy, Sochi, France, and then we will go to the season finale at Interlagos.
Yeah, that could be really exciting. Obviously, Interlagos has hosted many championship sides in the past, and we might see another one yet again. And Brazil's a track which is very exciting. It's really, the fans really enjoy that circuit, and drivers do too. And obviously, this is the first time in One Hub racing history we have not raced Silverstone in the season. Obviously, every single season, all the other 14, 17 seasons have had Silverstone on the calendar in some form. So that's the first time Silver's missed out. Obviously, that's due to the fact that we don't run full seasons anymore, and we've got to try and get all the 22 tracks on the game in one season.
Yeah, as an interesting stat from Iverman Mike himself in the chat, he said that it is his second pole position around Singapore in his One Hub racing career.
Oh, that's interesting. Obviously, this we must have the database. My database, my facts are on there. I only down to one race, so maybe he raced under a different PSN, which he didn't pick up on the database. So yeah, maybe Mike's a bit of a Singapore specialist. Maybe he just enjoys his track. You do see it at certain street circuits, like especially in F1, like Vettel and Alonso. I tend to see it as specialists around this track. Maybe Mike is a One Hub specialist around here.
He might be. Last time he was on pole was season 14. Thank you for the very quick facts, Mike, and giving us something to talk about. I mean, now two different pole sitters in 2 rounds, aero specialists who came very close to this one. When I say very close, he was in 3rd position, but it was still 4 tenths behind Mike.
Yeah, but for a track like Singapore, that's quite a tight gap. Obviously, it was a very long lap in qualifying. So yeah, that's quite good to see the grid still on such a long track and in wet conditions, which just spread the field even further. It's good to see the grid is still quite closely matched. We've got 18 in the lobby. I believe we are waiting for somebody. I believe we are waiting for Billy in the McWilliams, so he's not rejoined, but he was at the back of the grid anyway, so that shouldn't really affect the grid except the Gazaman.
Yeah, as soon as he joins, we should be ready to go. As now, just seeing, yeah, it is Aaron JS who isn't here tonight, and I wonder, will we see any Crashgate incidents this season? Of course, Singapore are infamous for that Crashgate incident back in 2008. With how teammates are in league racing, how some of them are very friendly to each other, we might see some sabotage from them. Like a wingman story, maybe not as extreme as the Crashgate incident, but we might see some wingmans such as Valtteri Bottas a few years back in the Mercedes.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see team orders for sure. I think, especially if the guy, but I won't say Crashgate because, firstly, that will be illegal if that's found to be. If that's found to happen, that'll be illegal against one of the Brewers. I believe both drivers will get kicked from the league. And also, if you crash in this game, it's not a guarantee the safety car will come out. It's sort of gambling that the safety car will come out, because we did see a few crashes in the past in this One Hub Racing League where safety cars not come out. I mean, I've seen safety cars come out for a guy basically pulling into the pit lane. So the safety cars in this game are very temperamental. It doesn't come out when you expect it to, and sometimes it comes out as a complete surprise. I've seen safety cars come out for a guy spinning and recovering straight away. So yeah, the safety cars in this game can be a bit temperamental. So I was going to mention that. How many safety cars do you think we'll see tonight in the race?
Yeah, we must. At least a VSC. I mean, I'm surprised we didn't see a safety car at Canada, but then again, there was no incidents there. Here, if we don't see a safety car, I will actually be very surprised.
Yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, I'd be shocked if it wasn't one of a street circuit and some of the walls were closed, some guys coming to blows. Yeah, if the safety cars come out here, well, I guess Burnt Light Maylander may have gone on strike this weekend. So, yeah, I do expect to see the safety car come out for sure. And, maybe on that one as well. Maybe on that one, if you feel like safety car come out, maybe start on soft. So maybe just come in and just do the rest of the race on mediums. Maybe that could be, if it's a dry race, of course. I think that could be a strategy of these drivers. As I believe we're still waiting on Billy. So I wonder what's going to happen here.
Yeah, sadly we won't be seeing the Aston Martin one. I really prefer that safety car. It looks so much better. And yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of the red safety car.
No, it's weird seeing a red Mercedes Benz. It's just
Yeah.
it just looks wrong. It's either silver or black or grey or white, not like red. It just looks weird seeing a red Mercedes. I thought it was like when I first saw it, I thought it was a Ferrari safety car. Thinking of Ferrari doing safety cars now, but yeah, obviously Aston Martin and Mercedes are very closely tied in the real business world, and obviously they're sharing duties of the medal car and safety car, and obviously they will be on the F1 2021 game. So as will the Imola circuit and the Portimao circuit, I believe. So we'll be racing them on the F1 2021 game.
Yeah, that will definitely be fun. I can't wait to race around Imola and Portimao. Imola, I always like the track, so it would be definitely nice to just drive around there, especially how I do not have a PC, so no modding on the PlayStation, so I can't go hop on a slow cursor or any game like that to, try out Imola in
Yeah,
the
it should be
F1
good.
cars.
Yeah, it should be good fun. I remember playing it on F1 2013, but it's a different track. I remember playing it on the old PS2 games, and yeah, it was so much fun. It's like a proper old school circuit. Obviously, it's nice to see these tracks coming on the F1 calendar, obviously replacing races which cannot happen this season. The Billy has left straight away, so I wonder if the Williams man is having connection issues. I believe we will probably go set off without him, as he seems to join the lobby and disconnect straight away.
As I see him in our tier chat saying that he is having internet issues indeed, so hopefully his internet does fix itself, as we're now nearly 45 minutes into the live stream, and we still haven't really seen green flag running in the race.
No, this stream I fancy may push 2 hour mark, especially if we get some safety cars. Because we could be having quite a long stream here. So yeah, hopefully we'll keep you entertained, and hopefully we'll get some racing very shortly. As I think the servers are maybe being a little bit temperamental tonight on F1 2020.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully your stay along here is becoming a little bit of a podcast, if I'm being honest. And uh, I imagine Jess, when she'll be watching back the race, she'll probably skip to this part of the race, as we are just talking in the main menu.
Yeah, so I'll quickly run through the actions on the screen in the stewards box. This is quite interesting. So they mentioned turn 5. What was the idea? The entry to turn 5 is often the scene of overtaking manoeuvres, particularly on the open lap of the race, which can lead to a car on the inside being forced over the curb on the inside corner and losing your car. Give your fellow driver space here unless you have a clear opportunity to pass. Often waiting for the following straight, and the DRS zone is a better option. Obviously, turn 5, it is quite a treacherous corner, and you do have that long DRS zone afterwards. So, and we have seen in the past a lot of collisions in that turn 5, turn 6 area, as that is really the main overtaking place on this circuit, as we are counting down to the session. So we'll be getting racing very shortly.
Yeah, that is some good news for everyone. Just checking here, weather is on custom, so we will probably be in the drive for the race. So no confusion there for the drivers. And yeah, now that we've really spoken about everything, there is nothing really to talk about on the formation lap. And yeah, I mean, yeah, do you have anything to talk about for the next 2 minutes on the formation lap?
Well, I mentioned safety cars earlier. There's a question in the pre-race interviews about safety cars, and Hooky, the guy who qualified really well in the qualifying session, he answered this question. He said, "Safety cars are a high probability here. Have you been practicing your safety car restart?" And he said, "I've not led many GPs to get a safety car restart from leading the pack, but he feels fairly comfortable in the top 5 as a whole in restarts." And that's where he's on the grid. So if he stays like that on lap 1, he may be fancying overtaking a couple of guys on the safety car restart.
Yeah, that might be a interesting strategy for them. I mean, we might see some Max Verstappen-esque leaving it until the last second to start the pack under the safety car, or else we'll see a classic just go at the exit of the corner. I mean, the drivers will have to decide themselves at the end of the safety car and at the restart of the race.
Yeah, that's a big issue for the drivers, and yeah, and obviously we don't really see that anymore. They go at the final corner. Obviously, with the modern F1 cars being so draggy, if you do that, you're just going to leave the guy behind a massive hole in the air to slipstream through. So yeah, the Max Verstappen approach is the more common one. I've seen it go wrong in the past with Valtteri Bottas in Mugello last season. Obviously, that was more due to the fact that someone in the midfield set off too early. As there's a mix of tyres. So we've got Mike, Aero Specialist, Hooky, Lawrence, Delta, Chunders, Gazaman, Truth, Quinnoth, Scorpion, Mikey, Flace, and Billy, all on the mediums. The rest are on the soft tyres. So we've got some majority guys are going mediums to start the race.
Yeah, no, as I mentioned before, I would go on the soft at the start. Do you think the medium runners will have an advantage later on in the race? Who do you think has the better strategy overall?
I don't know. I'd be interested. I think it comes down to if you're on the mediums, what you need to do, you need to avoid damage at the start. If you avoid damage at the start, then if you get damage, you have to like pit, and that's going to really kill the strategy because you may be forced to set hard. So if I was to, but if you do avoid damage, then I think these guys in mediums have got 2 sets of mediums, safety cars permitting, of course, and a set of softs at the end. So they'll be really quick at the end. But them see soft tyres, they're going to last about 4 or 5 laps, so they're going to leave that very late. If I was near the front, I'd probably start in the softs, get a good start, and if the safety car comes out, you can just bail and go on set of mediums. But yeah, I think softs are maybe the best time to start, just getting out of the way.
Just get them out of the way and get more grip at the start. That will be important. And I imagine the medium runners, I highly doubt they'll pit in halfway through because there'll be a lot of traffic halfway through the race. And at the end of the race, the car is the lightest. They could really push for that fastest lap.
Yeah, they can obviously actually pass lap points. They do get a point inside top 10, outside top 10, and yeah, obviously the fast lap winners, the most fast lap season, will get them gloves. So maybe a few guys may fancy a pair of gloves. They're not doing so well as the formation laps about to get end. So yeah, the fast laps will be coming at the end because the track will just ramp up in grip, and yeah. At the start of the race and heavy fuel, the tyre wear is going to be really bad, so it's just about maybe taking it easy in the first few laps.
Yes, now we're watching the cars line up on the grid. Bryn Mike sat on pole position, waiting for for Billy to line up at the back of the grid in 19th after some connection issues. Now as I wait for the optimal camera, broadcast camera here on the F1 game, we see 3, 4, 5 red lights out, and away we go here under the floodlights. It's a good start from Bryn Mike, but Aero Specialist for an amazing start. He's up to 2nd position, Thomas up to 3rd, and Jordan is all the way down to 4th. Hooky is down in 6th now. We see some side-by-side action here. A lot of the drivers are now pulling in to get the optimum racing line. Now checking who is alongside. I don't really see much action down further down the grid. Now seeing the drivers going into the braking zone. Gazaman, I think he let Truth NRP past.
Yeah.
Oh, as his front wings flying everywhere. The two Red Bulls collide. Truth NRP, I think, losing some of his front wing, just like Gazaman. Gazaman losing another position now to the Haas of Epic Scorpion, who has overtook him now into a very technical section. Of course, the old Singapore sling. And now Epic Scorpion, could he get a second move on the Red Bull? No, he can't just yet, going into the hairpin. He's just behind Truth NRP, but I don't think he'll be able to make the move here. No, he isn't, as he's too far back from Truth. As there is a spinner who is at that sector. He has spun and he is the first victim here at the Singapore Grand Prix. Checking further up the grid, Truth NRP, he is now stuck behind Hooky and Scorpion, who is also in this train. I imagine some of these drivers do have front wing damage. Yes, Hooky and Truth NRP both in the pits now. DRS has been enabled. Going to race control. Yeah, we see many drivers in the pits now. Hooky, Truth NRP, Killplane and Gazaman. So it's a double stack for the Red Bull drivers. And that will definitely hurt Gazaman's race. And now looking further up the grid, not much fighting here.
No.
And now timing glitch, hopefully it will fix itself here. Brain commanding the lead, that up in first position. Well, I was about to say 5th, but I completely forgot that the timing glitch exists. 1.2 seconds ahead of Aero Specialist. Thomas in 3rd, Jordan in 4th, and Lawrence right behind him in 5th.
Yeah, Lawrence got slight wind damage there, so he might drop down the order. Yeah, the likes of, as I mentioned, Gazo and Truth, I was watching them two on board, and Gazaman let his teammate through quite nicely, but in the end, Gazaman misjudged what his teammate was doing in the corner, got wind damage, had to pit, and Gazaman, his race is ruined because he had to do a double stack behind his teammate and the two Red Bull guys leading the championship, and they're both at the back of the field. Not good for them, but Mike, what a few laps he had so far. He's managed to break the DRS of Aero Specialist, and I have to say these two are looking good so far. Thomas in 3rd, them soft tyres. He's gonna them tyres drop up very shortly, so he's gonna make fun of the clutches of Lawrence behind. Lawrence is doing a decent job despite his wind damage. I have to say he's hanging on quite well there. It's only slight wind damage. As Gazaman, I believe, damaged his wing again. So the Red Bull man is not having a good race tonight.
No, he isn't, as there is a big fight for 6th position here. Trunders now, he'll be going side by side with Delta here, going off to the first DRS straight of the Grand Prix. And now let's see Trunders, he's going to go for a move. DRS wide open. And he's not using overtake mode just yet. He's staying behind Delta, so he is waiting in the DRS train, not using too much of his DRS. Sir Gwyneth behind the AlphaTauri, and King J, he's stuck here with all the dirty air in the world on the softs.
I'm surprised by Trunders there, and I'm surprised by Trunders there, and I know he might want to keep the DRS, keep it back with, but he could see the front guys pulling away. Delta's holding the pack up, Arnold Trunders 2008, and I thought he would definitely send it up there. It's just so much quicker, and you could see that front guys pulling away. Trunders, I think, should have gone for the move there personally. I think that might be a bit of a mistake there for the AlphaTauri man. He's got DRS down here, but this is not really taking an opportunity unless the guy makes a massive mistake. He doesn't. That's it. Gwyneth's having doing a solid job so far, hanging on, and Scorpion and Billy have both got penalties. Billy's back in the grid up 8 places. He's kept his nose clean, kept out of trouble. He's doing a solid job so far. So is Mike. The gap is keep on increasing, so Mike maybe is Singapore specialist.
Oh, as that's King J and Sir Gwyneth making a little bit of contact. I think that was King J's front left wing end plate going off. Sir Quinniff was looking for a move on Trunders going into the very technical sector 3. It just didn't work out. He had to pull in. King J mistimed the braking, and that's him into the pits on lap 4.
Thankfully for him, he was on the soft tyres, so there's a sort of pit window for him, so he's able to change braking. He will lose time, but thankfully for him, he was on the soft, so he'll be a bit better mediums. But yeah, he will lose time there for sure. As Sir Quinniff and they're quite competitive. Look, as Trunders on the back of he's using the overtake now, but Delta, I say Delta's got really low. Really good straight line speed. He sees the pull air in the straight, so he's not using overtake at all. So the Haas man looks quite slippery down the straight.
Yeah, no DRS, no overtake mode. He's doing a very good job, while Dex Dexter, he overtakes Matthias before the braking zone. So Dex Dexter showing that, showing his pace, probably using a little bit less front wing than the Racing Point driver. He just gets past him as if he wasn't there.
Yeah, Dexter is nursing a bit of damage as well, so even more impressive for the Mercedes man. Obviously, he's looking to recover after not such a good start for him. But his teammate Thomas, yeah, see, Thomas is doing a solid job on soft tyres. He's caught the back of air specialist, and I believe Thomas, he will be pitted very shortly, try and get an undercut, and he may come out, he'll probably come out just behind Matthias, so you have a bit of clean air when he pits, but he's going to be quite close between him and the Racing Point, as Thomas. He's going to have, so you've got DRS to the back of the climb, and I will pit. I think he may stay out one more lap just to get DRS. Yes, he does. There's a Jordan, he's still hanging in there, but yeah, the front pack quite close there. As Delta, I say, he's doing a really good job defensively. As Trunders, it's straight line speed here into turn 1. This is not an overtake opportunity, but what can they do later on? As Sir Quinniff's hanging on there, and yeah, the Delta is just holding up these two behind. There's a 8-second gap to Lawrence ahead, so Trunders, look how close he's pushing. He's pushing the Haas car through his corners. He's got to get a good extend. He should do it easy down the straight, but we have seen that Haas guy is really slippery, and look at him. Look at the exit he gets. What DRS? He's not using overtake, so Trunders, Alpine man, you get very frustrated as you can see, front 4 pulled away, and he can't do anything about the end water.
Yeah, he just completely pulls away on the straight. It's amazing. He must be running like 1-1 wings. Delta, not the best in this, in the corners as we see here. Trunders, as you said, pushing him through some of these corners. I mean, it's a complete madness here through the old Singapore sling that got replaced in 2013 after many drivers hit the wall at the exit of it. Sad to see it go as Trunders nearly hits the back of Delta. So these drivers are jumbled up together as we see here on the third DRS straight. Completely forgot that this DRS straight exists. And yeah, that's a virtual safety car for the Williams of Billy.
This is great news for Thomas. He's going to come in the pits and get a free pit stop. Yeah, but I wonder if I think Delta might have picked the wrong setup. I think he might have selected, obviously, because Monza is next to Singapore and Canada. I think Delta may have picked his by mistake, because he is so slow. He's a 10-second gap to go ahead. I think Delta has definitely picked the wrong setup, because he's a rocket down straight. Thomas does pit, and Thomas is going to come out ahead of his teammate, I believe. As Truth and IP picks up a drive-through penalty. So the Red Bull guys had it all the way in Canada. Not this week, got drive penalty for speeding, breaching the Delta, and this is going to work out well for two ART boys. Going to get a pit effectively. Almost a free pit stop behind the DRT. They're going to lose a lot less time than they would in a green flag pit stop. Green flag now, so they are getting some time. Maybe there's not as much as they thought, but yeah, Thomas is going to come out just behind his teammate. Is he? Yeah.
Yes, he is. I imagine there will be some team murders, as we mentioned them just before the race. Now, watching back at the DRS train that has formed behind Delta, I imagine he put on a different setup, that's for sure. He is way too fast in the straights, and look at the amount of time he is losing. He's trying to keep it on the road. It's very difficult for the Haas driver, as you can see. And now Trunders, he's just trying to get ahead of him, and now it picks up a 3-second time penalty. Yeah,
I am pretty sure Delta has put his Monza setup on, because in the corners he's just way slow. He's over 2 seconds a lap in corners, but look at him straight. He's like a rocket. Yeah, Delta has definitely put a Monza setup on for sure, because it's good for defending, but once Delta pits, he's going to fall way down the order. Once in clear air, he's going to be way off. His fastest lap is over 2 seconds off the guys around him, 2 seconds off the leaders. Yeah, that was an unfortunate mistake for the Haas to get the race under. I believe somebody did bread up early in the lobby, so maybe that will.
So we are Jordan and Matthias are fighting. Jordan now ahead of Matthias, and now Dex Dexter, he is pulling into the pits. So that's Thomas going ahead of him with a healthy gap to the Renault behind him.
Yeah, that's worked out well. The Mercedes man, he's got clear air now. He's got a 8-second gap, so he can pump some really quick lap times, do the undercut. I believe he'll be ahead, or I believe it's going to be very tight between him and Mike. Mike's doing a good job though so far. He's pulling a nice 3-second gap on there, a specialist, and yeah, Thomas. He's got a close gap a bit further. It's a 28-second gap to the lead, and obviously we do expect to see pit loss on 25 seconds. So Thomas is going to have to put some quick laps in if he's going to jump Mike. But he may be get air specialist. Two McLaren mans in second and third. I've seen the McLaren guys, they're a quick last week in Canada, but they're doing another good job here. And Red Bull guys at the back, the McLaren guys, they're going to go some really good constructors points tonight, and they may be proving the message that maybe Canada was a one-off for them in terms of the penalties.
Yeah, it might have been as Trunders. He completely pushed Delta through this corner and through the hairpin. So it just shows how much Delta is struggling on these tyres compared to the two drivers behind him. And this is letting the likes of Scorpion and Thomas to catch up to the back of them.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Thomas is going to have a pit on these guys already. And yeah, as I believe also with this setup, I believe Delta will be suffering quite bad tyre wear. So yeah, Delta's rear tyres are starting to go a lot more on cars around him. So yeah, it's not only punishing the corners, it's punishing the tyres, as we do get the 2-slot pit window open already with soft tyres. But I believe that is a very conservative strategy, as if you wait that long on softs, there'll be not much left of them. As Thomas sets fast lap there, that's what he needs to do. He needs to keep the purple laps ahead of Mike, who's really in control at the moment.
Yes, he is, and I imagine he'll be going on to softs later on in the Grand Prix. And now checking the gap to the leader for Thomas, it's 27.2 seconds. The new set of mediums showing their worth right now. Doing an amazing job hooking with a 3-second time penalty. So the second Alfa Romeo with not the best Grand Prix compared to his teammate.
No, he isn't. No, I think he got damaged at the start and had to pit, and obviously he's a long way back. As for Trunders, he's going to have to send it up the inside here. He's just losing so much time. He's going to have to, if he's got any whiff of slipstream, he's got to send it up the inside as he keeps touching the back of that Haas, and he's going to be quite lucky if he's avoiding wind damage so far. But yeah, he's got to just send him inside here. He has to do that. He's going to do that now. He has to do this. Get it done. Get a good exit here. But the Haas guy will get the better exit to the slip championship. But looks to go round the outside here. Look, how he is now round the outside. He should get it for the inside here. And he's got that move done about. Yeah, he's in the wall. The Haas is in the wall, and yeah, Trunders is through. A bit of weird banging there, but he had to get that move done. He was losing so much time, and well, Thomas, look at him now. He's almost lost a pit stop. Thomas, he's lost over 15 seconds, I believe, that battling, but he's finally got through, and he had to do that. I'm glad he's done that, because he had to do that for his own sake.
Now Sir Quinn, if he is in the pits with some front wing damage, so he picked up some wing damage in that squabble, and now Delta. Now, with Trunders, yes, he is in front of him, but imagine the time he gains on the straights, Delta. I mean, right now he is using overtake mode to try to catch back up to the AlphaTauri, but I have a feeling Trunders has just gone ahead. Yeah, 1 second the gap is now. Look at the speed the Haas driver is gaining. It's completely immense. It's out of this world. And he got on by around 5/10, but now he's just going to lose it all in this second sector. And he is now going to be holding up potentially his teammates and Thomas.
Yeah, I believe the Haas guys, I believe Gene Haas will be calling Delta through, let his teammate through, like Hall Thomas. But yeah, I saw it down the pit straight there, obviously with Chunders and Delta. He almost overtook me down the pit straight, and I knew as soon as a couple corners, the first 3 corners, if Chunders got his exits right, he was going to pull that gap quite easily. And look at the gaps. It's almost 2 seconds already. It's 1.6 seconds already. It just shows you how much he's losing. Now Scorpion's in the back of his teammate. Surely the Haas is going to have to do a switch here. But Thomas, look how close Thomas is. If we do a switch here, Thomas will surely seek through. Yeah, or he's let both of them through. So yeah, Delta, he's backed off there with Jordan. Yeah, there's another yellow flag there. I think that might be Delta slowing down. So, Delta, I believe he may be retiring the car. He made his fan. Yeah, he's letting everybody through, so I think he knows he's made a mistake.
It's a bit of a lost cause for Delta. With 10 laps into this race, we said that it might be the case that
Thomas up the inside of Scorpion in turn 1. Can he get his move done? Yes, he does. So Thomas up to 5th place, and he's pitted already. Let's not forget, he's got a yellow flag set to 3. I believe that his teammate Dexter Delta has retired in the pit. So yeah, Delta, it's just shame for him because he looked quite promising pace in qualifying, but yeah, just that wrong setup, which I believe it's just got lost him off time there. But yeah, look at Thomas now. He's not too far back of Chunders. He's going to catch on Chunders now. It just shows you how much time Chunders lost with Delta.
yeah, Delta Thomas is on an absolute charge right now, trying to hunt down AlphaTauri after managing to get past the Haas driver pretty easily. I just wanted to mention, with only 2 retirees so far, and still 17 drivers remaining, this might not be the case, as we mentioned earlier, that whoever finishes will get points.
Yeah, that could be. Very clean races. And just speaking of Thomas, he's just picked up wing damage. So ERT Thomas has, according to our task data, has picked up slight wing damage. So that might hamper his charge a little bit on that line it occurred. So yeah, Thomas has got, but he still looks quite comfortable. I have to say, his pace, despite that damage, he still does look quite comfortable. As according to our task, it says Thomas is retired, but that's obviously wrong. So obviously he's picked up the wrong guy there. So yeah, on our task system we've got Thomas retiring, but he's still in the race. So yeah.
Yes, now Thomas, he's right at the back of Trunders. I imagine he'll be able to make the move on going into turn 7, going into that second sector, and just look how much time he is gaining on Trunders. Trunders with a lost hope, I think, right now, after getting held back for ages behind Delta. Now let's see Thomas with the RS wide open, overtake mode engaged. I don't think Trunders will be defending this position. No, he isn't, and that's the Mercedes up into 4th position, and it's a very easy overtake for him.
Yeah, Trunders' tyres are starting to go off now, starting to get shot. He'd been not pitting not very too long, and the traction Tom's had there is up to 4th place already. And what's the gap to the leader? 26 seconds. I'll say Mike, he's doing a really good job on his old tyres. He really is managing quite well. Obviously, didn't finish in the points in Canada. Obviously, he didn't get the points fast lap, but Mike is looking really good so far for the win. But Thomas, I think he's definitely on for the podium. And these front 4. It's going between these front 4 for the podium places as the guys behind there are all compromised with what happened with Delta. So yeah, Thomas is doing a good job so far, and he's got a nice big gap to do some nice quick laps. 14 seconds. Tom Lawrence ahead. When do you think these front 3 will pit as well? Actually, I believe McLaren's already. Yeah, Aerospecialist is pitting this lap. So
I imagine Bryn Mike will try to cover up the undercut and probably pitting this lap, and we see here Aero Specialist with a front wing change, so that's him losing even more time in the pit stop phases, as now Jordan, he has overtaken Trunders and Scorpion, who are both in the pit. Trunders lost a little bit of time going into the pit entry. I think he might have lost it on the pit entry.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult pit entry, obviously, and I've actually binned it in the pit entry in the past league race, and I try to forget about that. But yeah, it's quite a difficult pit entry. As you see, Jay getting really sideways as Aerospace still taken. Yeah, I believe Aerospace did actually pick wind damage that lap, so he pitted 2-3 laps too early. So he's going to have to manage these, nurse these tyres a little bit more than he wanted to, because he's going to have to take these tyres to about lap 25, 26 if he wants to feel comfortable to get them softs to the end. So a bit of a miscalculation there by Aerospace that might cost him any chance of the race winners. His car looks very slidey. It did look last week. I think Aerospace likes driving a very oversteery car.
Yeah, it does look like it. I mean, if he does the job, then fair play to him. If that is his driving style, then go for it. But just wanted to mention Bryn Mike, he's going into the pits, and just on this lap, he was able to lap the first car, showing his dominance tonight.
Yeah, it's very impressive. As he just come to the pits, and Lawrence going to follow him, so the front rear wins. So this will promote Thomas to the lead. But it's going to be very between Thomas and Mike, actually. I'll keep an eye on Thomas, see how he does. But yeah, this is going to be very tight. I think Thomas may just jump in, but it's going to be very tight as Mike does lead the garage. Thomas is coming down the pit straight. I think Thomas will have this just. Yes, he does. As Mike's exiting the pits now, it's quite a big gap actually. So yeah, Thomas has put some really quick laps there, but he's on slightly old tyres, so he's going to have to nurse a little bit further. But Mike is going to have to go on the soft tyres at the end. So yeah, it's very much that virtual safety car, I think, has allowed Thomas to take lead, because without it, I don't think it would have been. As you've got another yellow flag, I believe that is a Ferrari off.
That is Aero Specialist who has spun.
Yeah, turn one, yeah, and he's let his teammate through. So post it last week, he's had a couple of mistakes, and yeah, I believe, yeah, he's not looking, that oversteery car has come to cost him again. Yeah, he's not looking that comfortable out there. He's used to leading these races, and he's feeling a little bit of pressure having to check.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe he's back into 2018 days with ballast at 11, but I mean, Aero Specialist, he doesn't look that comfortable in this car. He does have the pace, but he just can't put it to work.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting if he can close back on his teammate Lawrence, obviously. And as a King J, obviously, he's now going to be behind Lawrence. So this may allow the McLaren guys to catch up. But this is great news for Mike. Obviously, look at the gap he's got to the McLaren. So this Alpha well about that. I believe he's the favourite for the win at the moment. Thomas, he may be fancying, if he's not going to win the race, I think Thomas may be fancying the second place here for sure. The McLaren guys they are showing pace, but they are making a few mistakes. As Lawrence on the back of King J, he's got to get this move done down the pit straight if at all possible, because he's going to be held up here by the Ferrari man who's making his return to Honour Racing, a very experienced driver.
Yeah, and Aero Specialist, that spin definitely did not help him, as his tires will be overheating at a circuit that you definitely don't want your tires to be overheating at. And now Lawrence Z, he has come very close to the back of the Belgian driver, but he was just not close enough to him, and Lawrence Z will have to stay behind him. And King J, he lost the back end a little. Lawrence Z, I imagine he'll be staying behind him for a DRS. Yes, he does. He does a switchback manoeuvre on the Ferrari, and that's him up into fourth position with a lovely overtake. Aero Specialist with no DRS to use, but he has the ERS advantage. 75% for the Northern Irish driver, and King J only with 20% of it to use.
No, King J, he's trying to hold back there, but his rear end is really shaking around. Them tyres stand up, he's picking up, and the Aero Specialist, that's a crucial move from Lawrence. They quite intelligent race from there. He did switch back, and he knew once he got down the straight, he had so much more traction. He got the movement very easily. He didn't even need DRS. He pulled a 1 point fast side gap already, so it just shows you how advantageous these fresh tyres are. As it'd be interesting how Jordan, obviously the two ERT drivers going a different way in strategy off that VSC, meaning that pit a little bit earlier than maybe what they were hoping for, but it's definitely left them in a good position track position wise. Look at Aero Specialist howling in the back of this Ferrari. This Ferrari, his tyres are short already. It just looks so twitchy. The traction zones, Aero Specialist gets a decent exit out the final corner. He may get this done in turn one. Let's look at him, he's pushing him through these final few corners, but we have seen these Ferraris, they have shown quite good straight line speed. Aero Specialist may hang back here for turn one, but look at him, I believe he's going to try and send it down the inside here. He's got slipstream, he's not using overtake though, so he's maybe playing a long game here. He thinks about sending him inside, but no, he's going to wait for going to wait for turn 6, but he picks up a time penalty. Look at him, he ran the back
Oh,
of the
and a
front
front
guy, did
wing.
wing damage. Yeah, so playing the long game didn't work up for him. In hindsight, he would have gone for the move into turn 1, because look at him now, he's going to really struggle. And look at, and yeah, that's not a good move for him there, as I believe the Red Bull with Gazzaman has been lapped. So yeah, that Red Bull's not in the fight.
Yeah, it isn't, but Aero Specialist, he tried to, I want to say he maybe even tried to go for a switchback on him. Not too sure. He cut turn 1, got too much momentum going into turn 2. King J was taking a normal racing line. I highly doubt he brake checked him. Aero Specialist just picked up some wing damage, and this will be his probably second front wing change of the day.
Quinnip was at the inside of Kilpain in turn 8 there, but no move there. Was the 2 Alpha Tyre guys did switch down the DRS straight. There was team odds there, Alpha Tyre, and now Kilpain's job will be to keep this Williams guy behind him. I'd say Sir Quinnip, he's having a decent race so far. He's showing decent pace. Obviously, he was affected with the Haas train, but Sir Quinnip's showing some solid pace here, and he seems a lot more consistent than he was last week.
Yes, he does, and now Sir Quinnip, will he be close enough to AlphaTauri man? I don't think he will be. He goes for a dive, yes he is! He's down the inside, they made a little bit of contact, but I don't think any of them got front wing damage. No, they haven't. Sir Quinnip still down the inside, and the kill plane, he has to cut the track a little, as Sir Quinnip up into 8th position, kill plane down to 9th. That was some, I want to say it was a little bit of a dirty overtake, but Rubbing is racing after all, and now ERT Dexter is right at the back of the AlphaTauri, and you could be going for a move on the AlphaTauri going into turn 1. DRS wide open, no overtake mode in use, just for a little squirt of it, and I imagine he'll be going for a move into turn 7.
Yeah, Kilpain's get ambushed here, and he's all oldish tyres, first in that mode mediums, they'll be feeling aware now, and he'll be trying just to get to the next couple of laps, trying to get another pit stop. He always 2 stops out the way, but yeah, Kilpain is definitely struggling, and he's getting bullied around here by his guys' best tyres. Look at Dexter, look at the win he's got. He's going to do this inside here quite easily. And what about Scorpion? What can he do? He's going to have to hang back, I believe, on fresh soft, just he is. And I believe we'll maybe try and send it. If he sends it inside here, Kilpain gives him room. We're going to go side by side. Kilpain on the inside line, but Scorpion may switch back here. Yes, he does. Look at the extraction years. He's going to think about sending him inside here. Look at the win he's got. I wonder if Kilpain will back out here into the old Sing Bar Sing section. He's through, and yeah, the Haas guy is through, and Kilpain, well, his tyres saying have enough. His tyres want to come in. They are completely shot, but he's got a bit of clean air now, thankfully. It's normal battling for him for a while as Mike is close back at Thomas. Look at Mike, he's gaining a lot of time each lap on the Thomas. That last lap he gained 6 tenths, so Mike is definitely in the zone.
Yes, he is. Kilpain, he has 72% wing damage. Who is that?
King J spun it. He spun it in the final corners, and his tyres are shot. It's a shame. He's on such a good race. As Jordan's picked for hard tyres, so that's the first time hard tyres. I wonder if King J will come in for them. As looking the pit lane, them tyres are overheating, and he almost lost in the pit lane. He's shame for him because he was on such a good race, and the pit now, and surely he's going to set hard tyres. And he's got mediums. That's going to be interesting to try and get them to the end. As Jordan on the hard tyres, playing it safe, he's coming out. We saw Gazzaman lose last week. Didn't work out for him. Let's look at Quinnip. Quinnip on 1. It's moved on now, but you believe Jordan may pull away. Look at the traction Jordan's got. Yes, he has. He's in 5th place. And I wonder if Thomas will go on hard tyres as well, or maybe he'll go on the set softs. So the Quinnip, it's got the slipstream on Jordan, but it's a bit too far back, so this move's not going to get done here. He's really late on the braking. I say Quinnip on the braking looks really confident tonight.
Yeah, we're really showing that it's an issue here tonight. Kilpain and King J, last lap, they both had 72% tyre wear, which is a complete madness if you ask me. I would not be driving around the streets of Singapore with 72% on my front right, but they did it. One of them unfortunately spun, and now going back up to the front, Bryn Mike, he could be going for an overtake on the Mercedes pretty soon. 4 tenths separating the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes driver, 2 tenths now heading into turn 1, and now he's gonna probably wait it out for a next DRS straight. Thomas with a little bit more ERS to play with, but the thing is, he doesn't have DRS. Bryn Mike does. And now, will he be able to go for an overtake? I don't think he'll be close enough to a Mercedes driver. I think they're head to head right now. Yes, they are. And the Alfa Romeo, driven by Mike, is just too far away.
Yeah, I believe Mike may paint long game. He's got another spinner, I believe, and that is.
Flies.
Yeah, I know he's having hardware issues, and yeah, he was going to give this race a go, and he's just struggling again. But yeah, I believe Mike is going to be playing a long game here, as Thomas, he'll be playing a long game here, but as he knows the McLaren guys behind having issues, and yeah, Thomas. If he gets a run, he'll go for it, but he's not going to risk his race going for a move here. He's quite happy to sit behind a Mercedes man, as we've got Hooky in the pits. He's going to have hard tyres, so a lot of these guys are not confident getting them in to the end. Maybe tyre wear is a bit higher than what we expected.
Yeah, it does look like it, and hard. So they will be easier to maintain their temperature, as we can see. Overheating, a big problem for these drivers. A lot of spinners here tonight, Aero Specialist and King J most notably. But ERT Jordan, just checking that, I don't know if it's a glitch or not, but if it isn't, his trademark is to push a ton of fuel into that car. 8 laps more than he needs.
Yeah, he did that last week. Remember, we checked after the race, he finished with 6 laps extra compared to Canada. So yeah, maybe, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, as now, sorry for calling you in there, Mike, he's going for the lead down the inside of Thomas, and I think that's moved on. Yes, it is. So Thomas is down into second position on the older medium Comp tyres, and he'll surely be pitting in pretty soon.
Yeah, Thomas, he knew that move was done. He tried to fight around that side, but he knew that. As I said earlier, once the Alpha man got a run, he's going to get the moves done. And yeah, very sensitive driving there for both drivers. They both know they're going to be on for the podium here, and they just keep it out of trouble. There should be 1 and 2. So yeah, nice move there for Mike. He could definitely pull a further gap now to the guys behind. And yeah, Thomas, he's having a solid race. So yeah, that was good, clever racing by both of them. They both know what their races are tonight.
Yeah, Bryn Mike already pulling a 1 second lead to Thomas, and I imagine he'll be pitting in this lap. I mean, 12 laps remaining until the end of the Grand Prix. Bryn Mike showing he can overtake Thomas, so even if the Mercedes undercut works, Mike will be on brand new soft tyres, and he could well make the overtake.
Yeah, but I have to say Mike's tyre wear has been very strong so far. Definitely, even with that VSC advantage, Thomas to get the pits, only 4 second gap. So yeah, I believe Thomas will lead, but I don't think he'll lead that much. And yeah, he will be very vulnerable, and Mike will just be trying to nurse his tyres a little bit further than he can. Maybe every lap he can save will give him about a second lap on the soft tyres. So that's what we're trying to do. He's lapping the racing point at the moment, as the racing point seems to be quite quick down the straight, to be fair. This is going to be a little bit distracting for him. Obviously he's a ghost, so it's not going to affect his lap time, but I will not want to be leading the race. I will not want to be driving around inside that racing point for half a lap.
Yeah, so basically both racing points will be lapped now, but I have a feeling Matthias should give up his position. I mean, he is getting blue flagged after all.
Yeah.
Well, yes, he is ghosted. That doesn't mean you have to interrupt the leader, and he does what we said. He lets him pass, and now there was a battle happening here between Killplane and Dexter. I think Killplane, yeah, he's right at the back of the Mercedes.
Yeah, it was interesting there, especially as pitted there. He's come out on soft tyres, and they're not going to go to the end. They have to change a wing again, so Aero Specialist not the race, and Aero Specialist maybe just pray for a safety car and maybe just going to a fast lap point, because yeah, he's going to pit again. He's got more wing damage. So yeah, the McLaren man, he's not having such a good race so far as his teammates. Doing a solid job in second place, looking good for a podium finish for Lawrence. So yeah, he's doing a solid job. But yeah, Aero Specialist is not such a good race tonight as Killplane, Dexter. these two look quite even match for pace.
Now, with 10 laps remaining, there is some battles happening further down the grid. Scorpion versus Hooky, just Mikey versus Fleiss. This could be a very close one. Yes, it is just Mikey now going for the overtake on Matthias, and that's him. No, not on Matthias, on Fleiss. Sorry for that mistake. He's up into 15th place. Fleiss down to 16th. There was another one, if I was not mistaken, Dexter and Killplane, yes.
Yeah, these two are quite close. Also, Scorpion and Hooky obviously in the back end of the points. Scorpion yet to score points, so they're looking to get some points on board for Haas with dealt with his unfortunate issue of the wrong setup. We believe it was as Jordan on the hard tyres is gaining on Chunders. So he'll be going to the end. As they've got a yellow flag in sector 2. Who is that for?
That is Fleiss, spinner at the Anderson Bridge, and that's him with front wing damage. And hopefully nobody picks up a puncher from that.
Yeah, it's got Scorpion in the back of Hooky, and now Scorpion maybe fancy to move into the long DRS straight here. He's looking, obviously Hooky on the hard tyres. His traction will not be as good as the guy as the guy in the mediums. He's looking to get a good exit through here to turn 5 into turn 6. What can Hasman do? But I say Hooky, he's got decent line speed. Scorpion is gaining. He's not using overtake though. He's playing a long game here. Scorpion's got a run. He's going to send it down the inside. No, he's too far back. If he used a bit of overtake, he could have been through there for sure.
He would have, Scorpion. I mean, he's cutting a little bit of the corner there, and I imagine he'll get past Hooky pretty quickly. He is on brand new mediums, while Hooky is on some old hards, while Fleiss with 5-second time penalty. And many drivers here tonight with time penalties. Just going to check. King J with 12 seconds of these accounted. Sir Gwyneth with 6 right ahead of him. So at least it's not as big as it was at Canada.
No, King J is on the back of Sir Gwyneth. He's gaining and he's running wide again. That'll be another warning for him for sure. And King J's got the moving turn one. Gwyneth is defending quite aggressively after into turn 1. Maybe didn't need to do so because he was a front way ahead. But King J looks so much quicker than the Williams man. Obviously, a lot of fraction being tyres. King J making his racing return this week. Obviously, he finished 16th last season in the podium here. Gwyneth picks up a penalty. That's going to help his cause. King J can get one here. Overtake. It's going to be easy move down the pitch straight. So Gwyneth can do nothing about this. You've got to slip shims. King J's up to 6th place, and King J, these time penalties, has to pull away. Chief NRP picks another penalty, and Red Bull really could have championship, but at the moment, they're going to score no points.
Yeah, it is not looking the best for the Red Bull drivers. I mean, they had a very promising start. Both of them coming from prospect here, up here to a new tier, points here. And, yeah, first Grand Prix they did very well, as now Scorpion, he's down the inside of Hooky. And this was inevitable for Hooky. He's down to 11, and Scorpion will be getting the 3 points.
Yeah, good move there. As a Chief NRP got overtaken by Matthias, got wind damage, needs to be tied from race, so our championship leader is out the race. So we're going to have a very wide open championship with Air Specialist down in 12th and just Truth NRP out the race and Gazman 16th. This championship's going to be wide open coming out of round 2.
It sure will, and this is what makes the championship interesting. I mean, we're only 2 rounds in, but at least we're not seeing the same guys dominating. The guys we saw dominating last weekend, Aero Specialist, Gazman and Truth NRP combined, they'll only be getting 1 point. As now, Hooky, he's going for the move.
Yeah, round outside, he's going to go round outside again. Look at him, look at how much run he's got round outside. Qualified well, had that wing having a start, he's going to move to the top 10. Is he? Scorpion's fighting round outside though. Look at, especially our guy who's second in championship, he's right in the back of this. Going to score 1 point at the moment, but he won't move at Herbert the order on fresh soft tyres. So Scorpion's got, yeah, special, he's got to pit again. He's not going to get them softs to the end.
He definitely won't unless he pulls some magic here at Singapore. I mean, he's probably just trying to go for the fastest lap here tonight. I mean, if I was in the same position as him, I'd be going for the same thing. As now, just checking the battles, yeah, Hooky and Aero Specialist, they'll be trying to get past the Haas.
Yeah, Cookie's got running. Obviously, especially Klopp did pass Hookie the previous lap. He's got the yellow flag set 2. Believe that might be Price again. Yeah,
Virtual safety car and Aero Specialist. He makes contact with Hooky. Hooky is spun around, and that was just before the. That was just after the virtual safety car got deployed, which means that Aero Specialist has got a 5-second time penalty, and he has to slow down for Hooky because I think he'll have to give back the position. No, he doesn't.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
I imagine.
Aerospecialist tried to let him through there, but obviously with VSC he cannot overtake, so yeah, have to let him back through again. But Aerospecialist tried to do the right thing to let him through, but yeah, that was a bit over aggressive from the McLaren man, and yeah, he's going to cost him there. He's got the 26 seconds to retire his badge. He may still score a point, so he's got to pit again, so at least that 5-second time penalty will be. He can't get that time penalty removed now because he's going to have to serve it in the pit lane as King J and Chunders is pitting, so he's going to go and set a softs to the end, try and get these softs to last these running few laps. Lawrence pitted by that VSC, so that VSC helped Lawrence out. It might help him out with his battle with Thomas at the end, but Thomas, he's got a big gap after. Thomas has been pretty comfortable in second place, and Mike, it's a 17-second gap between Mike, so Thomas will lead for sure as place off again. So yeah, that racing point car is not handling at all well today. We've got Chunders coming up the pits now. There's contact between Chunders and Killplane. Two Alpha Tauri guys collided, and Chunders has got wind damage coming up the pits. So that's not ideal for the Alpha Tauri team coming together. That may be in the rivalries. That's not where you see teammates coming together.
Yeah, you don't see that often, especially in league racing. And I mean, this will have to be resolved by the two of them. Hopefully, they are not mad at each other. As now, Bryn Mike, he's in the pits. He's seeing that Thomas will get ahead of him, so he's going to try to at least stop the undercut a little bit. We see here Thomas, he is in front of Mike by a country mile, and he is going to try to catch up now with a racing point ahead of him, but thankfully for him, he's a blue flag.
Yeah, it's a place again. So you should get back around. It's got 10. This gap circularized. It's 11.5 seconds. Well, that's a big gap for Mike to catch up. These softs, I believe, will be around 2 seconds that quicker, but I believe they'll wear up by the time he catches up to Thomas. Whatever happens today, you're going to get a first-time winner because all these top four are yet to win a race one of racing. But yeah, Thomas and the Mercedes is looking good so far. But Mike, I don't think he's going to give up too easily. And Lawrence is not too far behind either. So Lawrence, you definitely get benefited from pitting that VSC. I believe Michael's past the pit lane when that happened. So the two, so three of the top four benefit from VSCs. Mike did not. So Mike could be ruining the time and then VSCs.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, he has 0.7 laps of fuel to use now. Not too much, but it is probably enough for him to work with the leader Thomas. He only has 0.3, so he doesn't have as much, and he doesn't have as much ERS to play with. So he'll probably be trying to save that. As Bryn Mike, he will be absolutely shredding his tires, pushing the car to the limit to try to get this win here tonight, and his first one of season 18.
Yeah, but at the moment he's not really gaining on Thomas. Maybe he's trying to get his tyres bedded in, but the gap stops stabilised around 12 seconds. He really needs to be gaining 2 seconds up to take it. So yeah, Thomas is looking good so far. No penalties. He's looking quite solid for the first race win. If Thomas will probably take the championship lead if it stays like this, but at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's now Trunders and Killplane. They are battling out for a second position. It's getting a little bit heated between these two AlphaTauri drivers. Now he's down the inside with the dummy, and that's him into the wall. And more wing damage for Trunders, I imagine. No, it isn't. It's a miracle that he didn't get any, but it's a 3-second time penalty, and it's getting real feisty between the two of them.
Yeah, that was a move out of anger and frustration for the Alpha Tauri man. He's just angry that he's got wind damage. Obviously, he didn't score last week. He's desperate to get some points this week, and coming together for his teammate is the big no-no in racing. And you have to say, even despite the wind damage, he does seem to hang on quite well to the back of his teammate. I wonder if there'll be, obviously these two did cooperate early of team orders, so I'm quite surprised. I think what happened, I think Chunders maybe misjudged his peg exits around the back of his teammate. So yeah, if I was France Tost, I'd be orchestrating the swap right now because Chunders does look quicker and he maybe can get after Dexter.
I mean, Gazaman with not the best Grand Prix here tonight, so there might be a little bit of switch here if this was real life. I highly doubt, but I mean, it's getting very heated here uh, in the AlphaTauri team. This will have to get resolved as Aero Specialist with the fastest lap so far, and he will be getting the point outside the top 10 as Hooky now concedes a position to Sir Quinniff. They're still going side by side here into Sector 2. A little bit of contact as I see a lovely helicopter view here, and now Hooky, he has been spun. That's him into the wall yet again, so not the best stint for the Alfa Romeo, being spun by Aero Specialist and being spun by Sir Quinniff, as now Trunders, he got the move done on kill plane.
Yeah, and whilst what happened there, especially got the move done on Matthias, especially in the points places, so at the moment he's going to get 2 points, fast lap and a point. And yeah, Hooky, well, I mentioned last week there was no steward support, so at least here, but I think this week there may be a few, because there'll be a few points this week, as George is in the pit, so he's obviously going for a fast lap. Obviously he's got a 4 behind Dexter and Chunders, but he may feel like going to be tight with Dexter, so he may feel like he's got a free pit stop here, because I believe he will overtake the Mercedes man again. So yeah, good figure there for Jordan. He's got a 4 behind Chunders and Jordan. Yeah, oh, maybe he's come up behind 2 AlphaTauris. So just unfortunate for him there. He thought he had a free pit stop to get past that point, but he's got to clear these AlphaTauris quick.
Yeah, he definitely will, and I mean, he's on brand new stuff, so it should be pretty easy for him. Not using his ERS, I think his ERS might be broken, so that does not help the situation at all for the Renault driver.
Yeah, and Mike has got his tyres. He's got his tyres in now, and he's gaining 2 seconds lap on Thomas. So there's another few laps, another 4 laps to go after this. So it may be possible, but he's going to have to go a little bit quicker, I think. It's going to be quite close to Deb at the end, as we've got, Jordan stuck down these 2 AlphaTauri guys. His fastest lap. Well, he's going to have to save his fuel and tyres and try and get some clear air, try and clear these guys as quickly as possible. But these 2 are fighting, so it's not going to be easy for him.
Yeah, he is pushing the limits in the Alfa Romeo. I mean, hitting every apex, getting as close to the wall as possible, just to eke out that few tenths. I mean, 8 seconds the gap is now with 3 laps remaining. It is doable, but it's going to be very, very close at the end.
Yeah, Mike, don't forget Mike's on these softs, so his tyres will die off a little bit. I think Thomas, as long as he avoids any mistakes, he should have this in the bag, but I'm not prepared to call it yet, because I have called races in the past and it has gone the other way. So let's wait and see. But I think one thing for certain is Lawrence is looking pretty secure in 3rd place, and a good drive for him after he showed good pace in Canada. He stuck it well this week, and he's going to get water with a podium as Jordan has passed Hill Plane. Now it's going to get past Chunders. Hopefully he can do it down his pit straight for his sake, but Kilplane's going to have DRS, but he's backed out of it. Look at Jordan, what's he going to do? He's going to get some pretty easy. I wonder if Chunders, he's going to defend it. Oh, Chunders, yeah, he did well there to defend that. Jordan couldn't get through. Jordan was being a little bit circumspect there. He wasn't trying to sit it down the inside. But yeah, this fast lap bid is not working well for him. These AlphaTauri guys are killing it for him.
And now looking at the gap between Mike and Thomas, 7.7 the gap is, and I don't think Mike is doing it. He only gained, I want to say, 1.4 seconds that lap, and with the Grand Prix coming to a close very soon, it is looking less and less likely for the Alfa Romeo driver.
Yeah, so Jordan's on the back of Chunders here. Look how close he is. He's sending it on the inside here, is he? Surely he's got to think about this, because you can see Dexter pulling away. He's going to lose the position to Dexter here. Jordan, he's not sitting down inside the same section. He's not be a very brave man does that. No, he doesn't. But look how much quicker he's in the corner. Look how much more traction he's got. Chunders is really struggling. He had that slight wind damage is affecting him. I think if he did that wind damage, Chunders would be well clear of Dexter.
Yeah, no, Jordan, he is going for a move here into turn 1. And around the outside, sorry for cutting you in there, and that's him up into 6th.
on trim and Gummit there, and Dexter, and I wonder if Dexter, it's weird tyres down. It's got a bit of, but yeah, Dexter's doing a solid job in 5th place. The two Mercedes guys, they're definitely going to hold us back in contention for the Constructors Championship.
They are back on form, it seems. I mean, Dexter, he was sitting around and tented the whole Grand Prix, but I mean, while everyone was losing their heads, he kept it cool. He is up into 5th position. And finally they are showing some good form, these Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, Gaz has lapped down 15th. I'm very surprised Gazman has not pitted to go for the fastest lap. I'm pretty sure he would have done, but he's down. He's got nothing to lose. Gazman should, I wonder if he's let it too late though. I don't think he'll be able to pick because he's lapped down on leader. It's Jordan. I wonder if Jordan is gaining. Look how much Jordan's gaining on Dexter. This is going to be obviously two ERT drivers. I wonder if these two I wonder if Dexter may just not risk this because he's going to score good points at the moment, and Jordan's on a mission that, and Dexter he's got 2 laps to go and he's going to get this move done. I think Dexter may defend there, but Jordan looks so much quicker. He's gained a lot of time this past lap.
Yes, he is. Now we're on the penultimate lap. He's going to drag over and move on Dexter. Mike 6 seconds behind Thomas, and it seems like all hope is lost for the Welsh driver to pick up a win here tonight. I mean, Thomas, I think he just had the optimal strategy here tonight.
Yeah, that VSC killed it for Mike. Thomas gained around 6-7 seconds. Jordan got the run of Dexter. Dexter did not fight that at all. He's happy with the point. 6th place would be a good result for him. Good, nice haul of points for Mercedes team. As Gatman has pitted to go for fast lap. Obviously, the top 12 all in the points. So Matthias and Scorpion, if they keep it on the road, they will score their first points this season. Which is good to see as Thomas start this final lap. And I'd say it's been quite comfortable for him ever since Mike pitted. Mike's charge and soft tyres hasn't really materialised. He has closed the gap. He has halved the gap, but that VSC I think has made a difference.
Yeah, he got very lucky with that, and we haven't seen a safety car as Thomas is now going into sector 2 on the final lap. No safety car. I'm completely shocked by that.
No, and there's still 16 cars running. It's the same amount of finishes and DNFs as Canada. I'm shocked, you have to say. The first lap was a little bit messy, but these guys, they've kept out the wall in a quite tricky race. Obviously, with the restart, which did affect some guys. I believe one of them retirements was due to a setup a mistake on setup, which made the car undrivable. So you have to say these guys are a really good job. And I'd say that Thomas, these 3 podium drivers do deserve it because they have all driven great races, and I wonder if Jordan may be able to jump King J for 4th place here. Look at this, and maybe Dexter as well. It's going to be tight. Dexter may get 5th place.
He could do. I mean, these drivers have kept it clean for the past 2 races. Fair play to them, and Thomas now coming through sector 3 to finish off what was a very good Grand Prix for him, nearly lapping Matthias for a second time, I imagine. And now through the double left-hander is Thomas with his first ever One Hub Racing victory, and fair play to him. Second is Bryn Mike with another podium in his career. Fair play to him. Lawrence C, he is going to be coming across the finish line in 3rd, and I don't think penalties will decide his position. No, they aren't, because he only has 3 seconds of them. So improvement for him, and a podium for the McLaren driver. And it's been a great race.
Yeah, that's his 3rd career podium round to him. King J, he's going to cost line 4th, but he's got 15-second penalties. And what's the gap to Dexter? I believe he's going to drop down to 6th place to King J. Good points for him, but then penalties cost him as he almost bins it in the final corner. That car was looking very hayward. Jordan's going to finish in 4th place. Dexter will finish 5th, so we've got 3 ERT drivers in the top 5. Chunder's going to cross the line in 7th. Solid race for him, but Kill playing his teammate may get him on penalties. I believe he will. Kilplane will get 7th. Scorpion 9th place. Sequinith, more points for him. He's going to finish 10th. Air Specialist is going to finish 11th place, but he's got the fast lap at the moment. He's going to keep it, so he's going to score 3 points. So he'll be level on points with Truth and RP, I believe. He's going to cost line 11th, and Matthias will cost line 12th. So first points for Matthias and Epic Scorpion. Congratulations to them, and congratulations to ERT Thomas for a well-deserved win. Hooky, Just Mikey, Gaza, Flace all were lapped. Truth and RP, Delta, and Biddy DNF'd, and Aaron was a non-starter.
Now with the race close after 100 minutes of this live stream, Dex Dexter is the driver of the day. According to the game, you will decide who will be the driver of the day. We'll go to the nominees just in a second, but now we see ERT Thomas for the first time in his career, 3rd podium in his career in one hub. He lifts up the trophy here at the dusk here in Singapore. We see the fireworks, at least we saw them earlier on. Now with the cameras on the podium we can't really see them. Mike in 2nd, Lawrence in 3rd, and if you could run us through the grid order after the podium celebrations, that would be great.
I will, that's no bother. There's ERT Thomas takes the win with Bryn Mike in 2nd place, Lawrence in 3rd, Welton top 3, good drives there, Jordan 4th, Dexter in 5th from 14th on the grid, King Jane 6th from 15th on the grid, Kilplane in 7th, Chunders in 8th for 2 Alpha Towers, Clyde late on, Scorpion in his first points season in 9th place, Sequinith scores more points in 10th place, Aero Specialist with a fast lap in 11th, Matthias his first points in 12th, Hooky 13th, Just Mikey 14th, Gaza 15th, Flay 16th, Truth NRP, Delta, MCFC, DNF. Inside the top 10, fast lap I believe was Mike.
Yes, it does look like it. Yes, it was. So now going into our driver of the day nominees, who is your driver of the day nominee?
I'll let you go first because I went first last week.
Alright, so I will probably go for Bryn Mike. I mean, pole position by 4/10, and he absolutely dominated the Grand Prix. If it was without that VSC, he would have definitely won that. And my question to him will be, did you think you'd have more pace on the softs, as you couldn't quite catch up to Thomas for the race win?
That's a good question. It's quite a tough one because Thomas won the race. He had a good race. Lawrence had a good race. Dexter had a good race.
Dexter from 15th, if I remember correctly.
I've got to feel really bad with Thomas winning his first race, but I'm going to go for his teammate Dexter. I think he drove a really solid race. He really kept out of trouble, scored some really good team points for Mercedes. I'm going to ask Dexter. Obviously, you didn't have such a good race last week. What was the key to getting that result this week? You seemed really consistent, and was how sorry, I'll ask again. Dexter, that was a good result this week after a struggle last week. Do you think Mercedes are back in the hunt for the championship, and what was the key to the result today?
That's a very good question. I couldn't have worded it better myself. And great race. After the connection issues, the drivers put on a great show. Fair play to them, keeping it clean. No safety cars, which again surprised me. And if you have any last words before we end the stream.
Oh yeah, it was a good race, nice clean race, no safety cars. I'm shocked by that. 16 finishes, well, everybody finished, and it was a good race. And obviously next week we stay in Asia for the Chinese Grand Prix, and that we're back to sort of a more regular circuit. And as China, that's another track where the soft tyres don't last that long, so that could be a very good race. And yeah, and obviously the championship's wide open. I believe Thomas will take the lead championship, but there's going to be a lot of contenders. It's a very wide open tier, as it was last season in the podium tier.
Yeah, hopefully it will be as close as the podium tier, with both Mercedes drivers battling it out right to the end. at Japan round 10, and that was the Singapore Grand Prix round 2. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. We definitely did, and I can't wait for next week at China. Hopefully you have a great rest of the day and a great week. I was your commentator, Carol Malecki, also known as Cadney Minty. I was alongside Jamie, and see you next week.